Okay, this is my response. Let me see if I can make this brighter. Okay. This is my response to, well, okay, sorry I got distracted. This is my response to Everybody Hates Angel, his video on how the Caucasian race was created. First off, if you don't really want to sound racist, you probably shouldn't come off sounding like that, because that is very racist. And maybe in some of your videos too, you should probably not be so mean. But it's your channel, so that's just my suggestion. I'm not going to tell you what to do on your channel because it's your channel. Okay. My name is Robbie, and I am a Christian. I believe in God. I love God. I am saved. Now, dang, this is really making me look darker. Oh well. Now, the reason I believe in God is because I know for a fact evil itself exists. There are people who murder people for no real reason, and who are not mentally ill or have any real abuse. For example, people who are sociopaths, that, is a symptom of what the world has become last few decades. If you notice as well, if you tell an atheist you believe in God, a lot of them will get mad and call you delusional, or they'll do something worse. They'll feign niceness. They'll give you that forced smile. Yeah, forced smile. And give you, like, what's that word where they're being nice to you but they're also attacking you at the same time. It'll come back to me one day. I also believe in God because there's archaeological evidence that backs up the events of the Old Testament, and I think some of the New Testament. But I don't want to give you false information if there is none that backs up the New Testament, except for the tomb of Christ and Golgotha, which has also been discovered. So I guess there is some, but I don't want to mention any more because I don't know if there's actually more that backs up the Old Testament besides prophetic writings. Sorry, my battery is dying. Yeah, I decided to do this completely. Completely unprepared. But there's archaeological evidence. There's historical articles. There's also mentions of a flood written, down by not just the Jews, but other, cultures. Even in Greece, they talk about the flood. Also, the Bible also talks about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are also backed up by science. So it's just a tiny sample of why I believe in God. He's also done a lot for me in my life. Now, I am in no way bragging, and I am in no way saying I'm better than you. I am not better than you, sir. You're a teacher. I think that's what you said in one of your videos. You're a teacher. You're a hip hop artist too. I do play the synthesizer. I do play the bass guitar. Not very well though. I don't make hip hop music. I make like dark wave and some other kinds of music. Yeah, I know. I say I'm a Christian, but I'm making that sort of music. Sorry. But okay. So let's see. You talk about how scientists have discovered that Caucasians have Neanderthal in them, but Africans don't. Now, they are both right and wrong. Africans, I don't think have any Neanderthal in them because they don't live in the mountains. They don't live in the mountains, the Eurasian mountains, and because Neanderthals, although they're not mentioned in the Bible, there were people that did dwell in caves, and they weren't, deformed. They didn't have large heads like mine. They didn't have large heads, but they did live in caves. So I guess Europeans are Neanderthals because a lot of them lived in caves. And there is historical evidence for this, especially during sorry, I can't talk today. During the Dark Ages, after the fall of Rome, and people lived in shacks and stuff. And so, but that ironically though, that also backs up the Bible, because the Bible, like I said, talks about cave-dwelling people. And so we are also the Bible also kind of, wipes the floor with that whole so-called scientific discovery, because the Bible mentions that man came from Adam and Eve, two people, started all off. But I think the first people born from Adam and Eve were most likely, they were probably brown. They weren't black. They weren't white. But they were from the Garden of Eden, which I believe is either in the Middle East or somewhere close to Macedonia. If I'm wrong, forgive me. I'm finite. So that's my response to that video. But then in one of your other videos, I discovered where you talk about where you talk about Adam and Eve and how you used like a rib cage and different cells. Adam and Eve were not born the same way you and I were. They were born, well, Adam wasn't born, he was created from dust and dirt. And what comes from dust and dirt? Clay. And so God formed Adam from that. And then not long after that, he put Adam in a deep sleep and took out one of his ribs and then healed him. Now, I cannot prove that is true because there's no way to prove that, because I don't think God actually gave man one less rib. I don't believe he did. But I know it sounds unbelievable, but God took that rib and he made a woman he made Eve out of that rib. And so Adam said, "This is blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman." So it makes perfect sense, And Adam and Eve were not black. However, they were not white either, so please don't call me a white supremacist. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not the whitest looking guy in the world. I'm a halvesy. I'm half white, half something non-white. Jeez. I guess that'll have to do. Sorry. But Adam and Eve had a reddish hue for their skin tone because they brought death into the world. Now, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse is crimson. So, that is the color of death. So, Adam and Eve, they brought sin into the world when they disobeyed God, when God told them not to partake of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And another thing I gotta say that many atheists don't mention is the fact that snakes used to have legs. And in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, the snake had legs. And after God punishes Adam and Eve for their transgression, he curses the snake to crawl on its belly for all of its days and eat dust as a punishment. So, and there's scientific proof of that too, that snakes once had legs. Not all of them, of course. There are some species who came after that, but yeah, if you look at some species of snakes, they once had legs. So I just thought I'd give you a response video. It's probably not the best video in the world. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention too. Yeah, I'm all over the place. I know people love to use like evidence of heads, of large skulls and weirdly shaped heads as proof that for evolution and Neanderthals and Australopithecines, I think. But I wouldn't rely on those so-called skulls for evidence because many people have big heads. Some people have small heads. Some people, like, there was Twisty. No. There was like this sideshow freak who, I shouldn't say freak, sideshow act that had a very small head who suffered from microcephaly. Me, being a freak, so I'm calling myself a freak, I have a large head that needs a haircut badly. See? I have a large head. Large head, small face. I had a brain injury and also had hydrocephaly, which is the opposite of, if I can get this focus better, which resulted in me having a large head because fluid builds up in your brain. So I would take any evidence that is discovered by scientists that say this is more proof of evolution from animal to man with a grain of salt, because it's very suspect to me anyway. So that's my response video. I'm very jealous of your hair. You have great hair and great tattoos. So, and I'm not judging you. I'm not calling you any names. I didn't make this video to fight or anything. Jeez. MacBook Pro from 2012. Ugh, I'm that poor. But thank you for watching this if you do, and you have a great day.